Hello and welcome. I'm Raghav, and today we are going to learn how we can create a Linux machine on AWS, and then we will connect to our Linux machine from a Mac operating system and also from a Windows operating system. This is going to be very easy and very interesting, so you can follow along with me. The first step is I will connect to my AWS account, or you can create an account on AWS. So here you can go to aws.amazon.com, and here you can create a free account from here, and you will be asked about your payment options and credit card details. Do not worry, you will not be charged unless you go beyond the free tier limit. So I will show you how you can remain within the free tier limits. So this is step number one. Let me just show you all the steps. You can create an account and log into your account, and I have created my account and I am now logged into my account. And then you can go to services, and here you will see EC2. So you can find it in this list, or here for me it is in the recently visited services. So I will go here, EC2. Here we can create our instances, and here I will go to the instances. Now here, in my case, you can see a lot of instances are there, but if you have connected to your account for the first time, you will not find any instances here. You can click on launch instance. So I will click here, launch instance. And then, so we have done this. Now here in the launch instance section, first thing is I will give a name to my machine or instance. So I will say Linux machine, just say Linux machine. And then here, if you scroll down, you will see the operating systems that you can use. So I want to create a Linux machine. I will use the Linux operating system, this one. And if you want, you can browse for more AMIs. I will just go with this one. And then here we have the Amazon machine image. So you can select from the free tier. If you want to remain within the free tier, you can also see the details. So just I will select the free tier options, and then I will scroll down. So you can also see the architecture. This is what I am using. Now the instance type, again, you will see a lot of options here. You can remain within the free tier by selecting the option that has free tier eligibility. So I will select this one. And then we have to create a key pair. This will be used for authenticating and connecting to the machine. So here you can create a new key pair. Click here, and I will say this is Linux machine. Whatever name you want to give, you can give any name here. And then I will get a PEM. Now, if you are connecting from Windows using PuTTY, you will need PPK. If you are connecting using OpenSSH, you can use PEM. Now, I will show you how to connect using PEM from Mac and how to connect using .ppk on PuTTY on a Windows operating system. So for now, I will just get the PEM file. I will click on create key pair, and it will generate the key pair. And now you can save it on any location on your system. So I will save this, and you will see it has saved on my system. And then after this, you can select the network settings. So you can see what is the default network settings, and you can change this later as well. For now, I will go with the defaults. Then here is the configure storage. So here you can select your volume. Now this is 8 GB by default. If you want, you can increase the size here, or if you want, you can add new volume. And for a free tier, you can get up to 30 GB of EBS general purpose SSD. So here I will say add new volume, and I will select here, sorry, I will go back. I will here general purpose SSD, and let us say I will get a 12 GB here. And then you can see the advanced details. All these options are here: hostname type, recovery options. I will go with all the defaults here. And then finally, I will see the summary. So here you can see the summary. Here is the number of instances. You can actually create more instances with all the options you have selected. As of now, I just want to create a single instance. This is the AMI image, the server type, instance type, the security group, the volumes, and then click on launch instance, and this will start launching your instance. This process can take a few minutes, and once it is up and running, we will go to the next step. I can go to view all instances here. So when I go here, I can see my instance getting launched. So you can see Linux machine here. You can see the instance ID, type, availability zone, instance state, and as of now, it is initializing. So we have done this step. We have done step number 4. And once it is up and running, we will connect to the Linux system. Now we can connect from Mac and from Windows. I have both of these operating systems, and I will show you all the steps. So let's wait for this machine to be up and running. Okay, so now the machine is up. You can see it is in running status. If I select this machine and scroll down and see the details here, so you can see here, we have the options, we have all the details here. In the description, we can see the instance ID, the public DNS, the public IP, the instance type, state, all the IPs here, private IPs, and all the details about this machine. Then in the status checks, you can create some alarms, and you can see all the checks. We can see the monitoring, we can see the CPU utilizations, input, output, operations, disk operations, network operations, all here. And then the tags, this is the tag I have given while creating the machine. So these are the different options and details you can see about your machine. And now to connect, I will select the machine and click on connect. And you can see here, there are multiple options to connect to the system. We have a standard SSH client. This is what we can use both from Mac and Windows. Then we have a session manager. Then we have EC2 instance connect. So I will just go to standalone SSH client. Here, it says open a SSH client, for example, PuTTY, and then locate your private key, the PEM key that we have, and then we must change the permissions on this file, that is the PEM key, to 400. That means we should not allow anyone to override the content of this file, and therefore we are making the permissions 400 here, and then we can connect to using the public DNS of this machine. So let me first check where my file is located, where my file is downloaded. So as of now, I'm on Mac operating system, so do not worry, I will show you all the details. For now, let us go here. So this is my file here. I will open the terminal. I'm on Mac and I'm going to the terminal. And here I will say chmod 400, and I will give the location of this file. I can just drag and drop it here, or because it is already on my folder called Raghav and I am on the same folder on my terminal. So I should be able to directly give the file name here. So I will say Linux machine, and this will change the permissions. And now I can connect to the instance using the public DNS, or I can just say from a Mac terminal, I can just run this command. So you can see the steps here. I will first connect from Mac because it is very straightforward. I can directly connect using my Mac terminal, and then I will show you the steps for Windows. So I have already done this step. I have changed the permission. Now here, I have copied the command. That is, this is the command to connect. So I have to say SSH -i, give the location of the PEM key that I have, and then the public DNS. So I have already copied this. So if you are running the command from the same folder where your PEM file is, you can directly give the file name. Otherwise, you will have to give the complete location of this file. So I'm copying this, and on my terminal, I will run this command and hit enter. So because this is the first time, it is asking me this, are you sure you want to continue connecting? I will say yes. And yes, I'm connecting to my EC2 instance. If I say, who am I? It gives me my user, which is EC2 user. If I say, what is my present working directory, PWD, it shows me the directory. If I want to list the content of this current directory, there are no files or folders here. So this is working. Just in case if you want to change the look and feel of this terminal, you can go to terminal and go to preferences, and you can select any of the profiles here. So let's say I want this basic profile. You can also change the font. So let's say I want to change the font to Consolas and let us say 14. And I will click on default. So next time when I open my terminal, you can see it opens in this profile. And again, I can just run the command to connect to my Linux instance. And it is connected. And I can run all the commands on my Linux. So this is my Linux system now, and I can use this Linux system. So for now, I will exit. And now I am on my terminal. I will exit from here as well. So these are the steps to connect to the Linux system from Mac operating system. Now, if you're on Windows, let me show you. This is my Windows system. And here on my Windows system, I will first download PuTTY. PuTTY is a software that we can use to connect to our Linux systems. So I will go and say PuTTY download, and I will go here and I will click on download PuTTY here. And here are all the options. I will download this 64-bit installer. I will click here. It will download the installer file. So this is getting downloaded. And then I will see this installer file and I will just run the installer. So I will say next. I want to change the location where it is downloaded. So let me just go to my E drive tools. And this is where I want to download PuTTY. I will change this. Okay, so this is where it will get downloaded. I will say next. Next. So this will install PuTTY files. If you want to add a shortcut to the desktop, you can select this. And then I will say next again. And this will do the installation. And then I will say finish. This is the README file. I will close this. And now if I see on my Windows, I can see PuTTY is there and it also installs PuTTY Gen. So now we have got our PuTTY ready. Now the first step is I have to change or convert my .pem file to .ppk file, because PuTTY does not natively support the PEM format for SSH keys. So PuTTY provides a tool named PuTTY Gen, which converts the PEM keys to the required PPK format. Now, if you remember, while connecting, while creating our Linux instance, we had downloaded the PEM file. So let me first copy my PEM file and take it to my Windows system. So this is my PEM file. I will copy from here. And on my Windows system, let me create a folder on my desktop. I will say Linux keys. And here I will copy and paste the PEM file. So if you are directly doing everything from Windows system, you will have the PEM file downloaded. Or if you want, you can also get the PPK file while creating the Linux instance. So I have got my PEM file here. And then I will open PuTTY Gen. Now all these steps, if you want, you can also get it from here. So when you select your Linux machine, Linux instance and click on connect, you can see we get an option here, connect using PuTTY. This is a link. If you go to this link, it will show you all the steps that I am doing. So you can see all these steps, getting PuTTY and converting your private key using PuTTY Gen. These are the steps I'm doing as of now. So I'm showing you this link so that just in case there are any changes, you can follow the latest documentation. Let me also copy this link in these notes. All these notes will be available to you in the notes or the description section. So here, I will start PuTTY Gen first. So let me open PuTTY Gen. And here, I will use the type of key to generate, choose RSA. And if you do not find RSA, then choose SSH to RSA. So here I will choose RSA here and then choose load, and it will display only the files with extension PPK. So to select your PM file, you have to change the file extensions to all the types. So let us do that. I will click on load. And when I go to my folder on my desktop, this is the folder where I have my PM file. You can see it is not showing me because it is only showing the files with .ppk format. So I will change this from here. I will say all files, and now it shows my PM file. I will say open, and it says successfully imported. I will say okay. So our file is imported here, and then we have selected our file. I will say okay. So everything is here. I will say save private key. I will say yes, and you can give the same name. So here, specify the same name for the key that you used for the key pair. So the name we have used, or I have used, is Linux machine. I will use the same name here and say save, and you will see here a .ppk file with the same name is saved. So now we have done this step. Now we can connect to our Linux instance using PuTTY. So if you want, you can close PuTTyGen and open PuTTY. And here, now you can follow the steps from here. So in the category pane, choose session. I will select session here. And here in the host name, we have to give the instance public DNS along with user. So here you can go to your EC2, and this is what you will give. EC2 user at the public DNS of this machine. So this is what you can copy. Okay. And this is what you can give here in the host name. The port will be 22, connection type will be SSH, and you can name this connection and save this. So I will say this is Linux machine. Whatever name you want to give, you can give here. This will help you to directly connect the next time without adding all the details. So I will say Linux machine, and I will say save, and you can see this is saved here. Okay. Now I will go to connection type and select SSH. So I will go to connection, category connection, and go to SSH and go to auth. And here I will browse the private key that I have generated. So it is on my desktop, Linux keys, and this is my PPK key. I will open this. So here, I will do this, and then I will go back to the session and say save, so that this also gets saved. Now, when I go to session, when I go to connection, there is an option seconds between keep alive 0 to turn off. So if you want to keep your session alive, you can change this. So you can see, you can configure PuTTY to automatically send keep alive data at regular intervals to keep the session active. So let us say I will give some value here. I will say 100 seconds. So after every 100 seconds, it will connect to the session and keep it alive. And again, I will go back to session and select Linux machine and save. I'm doing this so that all these settings I'm doing, connection, SSH, auth, will get saved to this SSH session. So you can see all this is now saved. So we have already done this. We have gone to connection, SSH, auth, and selected our PPK file, and we have saved this. And now everything is done. I will go to my session, go to Linux machine, click on load, and I will say open. And for the first time, you will get this information. You have, if you think this is what the computer you think it is, you can continue. So I will say accept, And you can see now we are connected to our Linux system. So if I run any of the commands, pwd, whoami, everything is running fine. Now, if you want to change the look and feel of this terminal, I will exit from here and I will again open the putty, and I will first go to Linux machine and I will say load so that it is loaded. And now I will go to window and colors, and let me change the color. I will say default background, I want to use white as the background. I will say okay. And default foreground, I will again modify, and let us say I want to use this solid color as the foreground. And then I will go to appearance and change the fonts. So let us say I want Consolas regular 14 so that it is easily visible to you. And I'll say okay. And make sure to go back to session and save all these settings. So now I will again open the session, and now you can see I have got this different format. I hope this is easily visible to you now. So now I am on my Linux system and I can run all the commands. Okay, so this is how you can create a Amazon AWS Linux system and connect to the Linux system from Mac or Windows. I hope this is very useful for you. We will do some more sessions on Linux. And if you have any questions, you can let me know. I will see you soon. Thank you for watching and never stop learning.